I think I'm... no. I thought I was already playing. What is up? Now I am. We are back. And we're playing Interaction Isn't Explicit. This study debates what counts as interaction in the actual medium of video games rather than discussing it in an article or video. It also has a focus on single-player story-driven games. Chapter 1. Definitions. Interactive systems interpret the character as an extension of the player. In this case, the player controls the character, executing actions and causing reactions. So if you have a shooting system, shoot and cause a reaction. Lucky. Camera's a little sensitive. It is what it is. Enemies need to be stunned to be killed? What? Oh, okay, I got it. Is the music too loud? It seems a little loud. Yeah. See if that's better. Can I die? I thought I couldn't die. The explicit system is characterized by its reliance on factors different than the player character's actions. QTEs are good examples, since it's clear the player tells the game what to do on their behalf rather than doing it themselves. Like HUDs and non-diegetic sounds, they sit between the player and the character. Another good example of explicit systems is in Bioshock Infinite. Instead of letting the player control the character, the game is doing things for them. Shoot the guy being humiliated, shoot the racist guy. This is what people mean when they say that a game plays itself. They're talking about explicit systems. At this point, you're controlling the game, not the character, and these are two very different things in game design. Okay. Yeah, this is interesting. Chapter 2. The filter that's on this game is weird. Interaction as a what? The filter is to make the game look better than it probably looks, right? This way it looks stylized instead of looking like shit. Things aren't as discrete though. A system can sit between fully explicit and fully interactive. Context sensitivity is a good example. Context sensitivity refers to the quick actions the character is only allowed to perform in a specific context, like opening the door that we just did. They're usually accompanied by a HUD indicator and the generic interact button. The reason I crouch so much is because crouching is on what usually is the run button. Just so you guys know, I'm not crazy. Completely crazy, at least. Yeah, just not completely. What the fuck? Context sensitivity still interprets the character as an extension of the player, but also relies on external factors to the player's control. Man, this camera is way too sensitive. It's like a Twitter camera. It's also important to note that many different tricks allow context sensitivity to feel more interactive. Grappling hooks in games like the Far Cry series are pretty restrictive. The same mechanic in Sekiro Shadows Die Twice feels more interactive simply because of its higher frequency and dedicated grapple button. It's not a knock, it's just explaining how games work. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong. No, it's just saying that it's different kinds of interactions. I think it's saying that it depends on the intention of the developer, not that one is better than the other. Yeah. Why would you have a dedicated grapple button if you can only grapple to specific points? Fully interactive systems aren't inherently better than explicit ones, see? It's all about how we use them. Yeah, see? Not a knock. After all, even Tuesday Morning uses explicit systems, so the study isn't an attack on them. Chapter 3. Pros of having explicit systems. I never played Sekiro. I don't even have Sekiro. Explicit systems can be easier to design and implement than fully interactive ones, as they're often restrictive. So developers don't have to account for every situation the player may be in or how that would affect the system. Grab the plank. I'm sorry for the jerky camera, guys. I'm not used to the sensitivity in the camera. You hate it when you do what? Oh, they revived. Some games overdo it. Yeah. Especially when it's a sequel. When the game is a sequel and you have a new ability and you use it all the time, and on the previous game, that never even occurred to the character. They're also pretty intuitive, which can be helpful to people who aren't used to the language of video games. The crafting system in games like The Last of Us is a good example. It's effective while also being simple and consistent. Yeah, it's no atelier. Overboard allows for faster traversal. Shake the controller to use. Oh no. Yeah, if you want to reach more people, you probably want to use explicit systems, right? You can use you can use them to support other aspects of the game. The great majority of the systems in Persona 5 are explicit. The result was great though, because those systems support the magnificent aesthetics, characters, and progression systems. So if we have a visually interesting production, we can support it using context sensitivity. Like It Takes Two, exactly. I love that game. Up is down. Nice. This is a pretty cool little thing. Playing It Takes Two with my Fushuan, she's loving it. Of course. That's such a girl-friendly game. Girlfriend-friendly game. I played it with my girlfriend, Throw 7, and we both loved it. Cons of having explicit systems. I was gonna stop you right there and ask before you said throw. I heard my girlfriend was like, what? I mean, you all knew where that was going, though. I guess not, but I thought that was obvious. Explicit systems can cause an emotional disconnect between the character and the player. Since they sit between the two, it's harder to connect to the events the character is going through. Press F to pay respects. I don't have an F. Right. So if I'm following this correctly, explicit systems when the game restricts the mechanic. It's when you don't do things yourself, right? So for example, the example of Persona 5 is a turn-based. You tell them to do something. You don't do it directly, right? That's an explicit system. But like, for example, I guess I would consider, maybe they touch on this. When you stand near a ledge, and there's a button to climb. Yeah, or when you stand by a door and there's a button to open the door. Instead of, for example, mashing square to break the door and go through. Or like in a Fahrenheit or Heavy Rain where you had to use the analog stick to do the motion, like do the hand motion to open the door, right? Yeah, the door is context sensitive, for example. But yeah, the grappling hook is a great example because some games have like grapple points you can grapple to. Other games give you a grappling hook and you can attach it to everything, like Lost Planet. Right? Also tend to be pretty restrictive, which can be frustrating, but it can get even worse as they present themselves. Due to the constant constraints, it can look like the game doesn't trust the player. Jumping and climbing are now explicit. Now I can't jump. The most recent God of War games constantly tell the player where to go and use context sensitivity to ensure they're going in the right direction. Kinda interesting that we just played that. Yeah, you can only jump in either because they assume the player isn't smart enough or not paying attention. You can only climb here. This game is explaining why I don't like those games. With words I didn't know. But see, now I can't. I could jump during the entire game. Now I can't. And it's like the new God of War, right? The old God of War is you could jump. There was a jump button, and now you can only jump when you reach the end of a platform. And it's context sensitive. So yeah, now I can climb because the game lets me. This is awesome, actually. I love this. I love this little game. This is what makes me feel games that should be movies when I couldn't explain it before. Yeah, but the combat is still super interactive, right? It's just not a platforming game. Furthermore, explicit systems heavily rely on other aspects of the game. Therefore, if such aspects aren't well crafted, it can render the entire system useless. Side quest. Here you go, kid. Give that guy his lunch for whatever reason. I love this. Red Dead Redemption 2 can afford to have the player perform simple tasks by using explicit systems. Final Fantasy XVI, on the other hand, can't. Its themes, world, production, and writing aren't well crafted enough to sustain such basic systems. The result is a substandard experience that constantly interrupts the player to present a story and characters that sound a bit goofy. Oof. Now I feel it's a knock. I don't know, man. At least slavery was better back in my days. What on are you talking about? Okay. In conclusion, explicit systems can't hold the weight of an entire game by themselves like interactive ones. I didn't play Red Dead. I think it's saying that you can make... I didn't do that. I think it's saying that Final Fantasy XVI can't sustain itself on the mechanics of going around and talking to people and doing tasks, because those tasks are not built. You just go and press a button to talk to people. Well, in Red Dead, you can actually do the tasks or something. I'm not entirely sure. Because I haven't played Red Dead, I don't know the exact difference. So like it's I guess it's saying it's more engaging to do like a side quest in a Red Dead game than in Final Fantasy 16. Which isn't that hard to believe since the side quests in 16 were awful. Guys, don't shoot me. Jumping and climbing are back to being interactive. Since interactivity sits at the core of the medium, it's important to hold out the potential it holds. Fully interactive systems don't have the same issues explicit ones can have and are simply more engaging. It's one of the reasons why the industry has such a huge focus on combat. Like Final Fantasy 16. A game I have no ammo. No, that's the thing. Final Fantasy 16 has amazing combat, but everything else is a little substandard. Can I get some ammo? But yeah, I think the point it's trying to make is that other than combat, Final Fantasy 16 had nothing going for it in terms of mechanics. Sorry. I can see interactive systems being easier to program in the sense of just make the player jump when you press save, but then you have to make sure you can't break the game by jumping. Easier to program. With explicit systems, you can't let the player break the game jumping, but you have to program every single context where you will need to jump. Yeah, so I think it's easier to do it explicitly so that you don't have to account for what the player might do when you're not looking, right? When you're not taking care of the player. A good example of this is Metal Gear Solid Revengeance. Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Where they made a system, the initial reveal of the game, you could Raiden's sword could cut every single thing. Every single thing in the game, in the world. Buildings, enemies, everything. What does that mean? Then there are no boundaries. Like, the player can cut every building and reach the edge of where you did your map. Right? You need to have an invisible barrier that he can't cross, because otherwise he's just gonna leave the level. So they ran into that problem and they couldn't solve it. They had to remove that, so you can only cut enemies now. But that wasn't how the game was revealed. Ah, come on. Can I ignore those guys? No. Elden Ring is very interactive. Yeah. Interactive systems also allow for more powerful connections with the context surrounding them. When Dark Souls plays around with bonfires, it affects the player directly because it happens through interactive systems. By interpreting the character as an extension of the player, we can create situations that affect both of them. You help me, I help you, got it? Hey, jolly cooperation. I thought you were helping me. Oh, he is. Go, go. Did you see the Dark Souls was voted the best game of all time? No. By who? You know what this reminds me of in terms of look and feel of the character and stuff? Another Souls-like. Let It Die. Shooting him like that won't do it. Look for weak spots. Shit. Look at the back of his knee, I'm distracted. Ah, I didn't see that. But I need ammo, sir. How do I reload? Can I reload? This has been a problem. Golden Joystick Awards, they made a nomination for Best Game of All Time. Okay. That's interesting. The only reason people will vote for Dark Souls is because Bloodborne is not on PC. Now what? I think I've pushed it all I can. Sorry to disappoint. Do me a favor and keep on, will you? Here, take it. Emma? Well, see you next time. Bros headphones. Old headphones worn by a recent friend. Sorry to disappoint. Yeah, that's what I said. Interactivity can also affect the player emotionally, and hopefully that was able to get the point across. Yeah, because we fought him together, so it feels way more connected than just an NPC I come across. The entire game industry peaked in 2005, and we're still trying to catch up to the one game that did all of these best. Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is the greatest game of all time, not only because of its extraordinary atmosphere, bosses, themes, music, or story, but because of its complete devotion to using interactive systems for the overall benefit of the experience. In a way that is absolutely unmatched by anything that came before or after it. I agree. I absolutely agree. What an amazing game. This subject is clearly a big deal to me, but I didn't want to overanalyze it. Increasing the number of texts and their complexity wouldn't make the project better. I have other studies planned anyway, so hopefully this is just the first of many. The goal of these is to understand video games better so we can continue to improve the art form while also treating it a bit more seriously. It's not a nominee for best game of all time, because they suck. That was really fun. I liked it. I liked it very much. And best thing of all, we learned something. We all learned something. Is this only on PlayStation? I have no idea. It's for non-commercial transformative purposes, such as mentions of other titles fall under fair use. Yeah. Yeah. I'm, whatever you do, man. I'll take a look. This was fun. 100% trophies. Let me read you the nominee lists. Okay. Go ahead. So Dark Souls, Super Mario 64. What else? A Zelda Breath of the Wild. Dark Souls, Doom, Breath of the Wild, Half-Life 2, Minecraft, Street Fighter 2, and Tetris. Okay. The Last of Us, Super Mario 64, Metal Gear Solid. Halo, Combat Evolved, Super Mario Bros. 3, GTA 5, Portal. Call of Duty 4, Pac-Man, Super Mario Kart. What the fuck? Space Invaders. How many nominees does this list have? SimCity, Pokemon Go. What? That it? Imagine nominating Pokemon Go as the best game of all time. In 2021, the Golden Joystick Awards celebrated 50 years of gaming by asking the public to vote for the ultimate game of all time, which was won by the 2011 game Dark Souls. The PC also received the Best Gaming Hardware of All Time award, which was accepted by Valve President Gabe Newell. Ah, yes. Gabe Newell, the maker of PC. Look, from this list, I would vote Dark Souls. So, I guess that's a positive? I haven't played GTA 5. But from this list, it would be hard. Dark Souls or I think they're just because of their impact on gaming. Yeah. Space Invaders is amazing. Alright, I guess we're done here. I should look for something else to play. Tetris is on the list. Super Mario Kart I don't get, to be honest. Also, I don't get Mario Brothers 3. It's either Mario Brothers 1 or no. I wonder what's revolutionary about COD 4? Look, I can see many games, but yeah. Mario Kart makes sense to know about specific one. I'd say Gran Turismo 1 is more important than Mario Kart. Is it more fun? Probably not, no. It's more fun to me because I don't like doing good in a race and then being hit by someone's shell and being last right at the end. But that's me. I like my fairness. Just stay in second, play your cards right. Yeah, I guess. To be honest, no. Mario Kart did predate Gran Turismo by 5 years. I know. Uh, but middle of the pack, I think, is super sweaty. That you either are first or last. Yeah. All right. I have a bunch of trophies to clean up and other shit. What can we play? I think I'd take Diddy Kong Racing over Mario Kart. Actually, I think you're right. To be honest, I'd even take Crash. Have you played Scorn? No. I don't really have an interest, to be honest. It didn't seem like it had an interesting story to go through. I could clean up the final bar lines of trophies, but no. Alright. Maybe I'll do a playthrough of Raiden or something. What if the DLC never goes on sale? Well, I'm looking into multi-streaming on Kick so that we can hang out here as we already do. But I do, like, you're always being toxic, Evan. But I put some shit out on Kick so I get some money from it. Maybe then I'll be more inclined to spend it. Basically. It's making streaming a little more profitable, you know? Yeah, that's why it's multi-streaming. So basically, you guys won't even notice the difference, except if someone talks in Kick chat and I'm like talking to someone you don't see in chat. And you're like, the fuck? Are we gonna have to hang out with a new Kick, guys? No, I guess those will be on the Kick chat. Uh, the thing is, if you do 30 days a week, which is a lot, I know, but 4 hours a day, 30 days a week, Kick will pay you, and regardless of how many people are watching, as long as you're showing your face and stuff. Isn't TikTok streaming also very profitable? I'm not sure, but if I am multi-streaming, I'm trying to see if I find a free option. How much do they pay? $16 an hour, I think, which is a lot. Big brain plays. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I guess you can, but It is a grind. It's still a grind. But I already do this like 25, 28 days a month. I push it a little further and I get paid. I get nothing here. Like Twitch gives me nothing. It's all you guys, so if anything, Twitch takes the giant cut of what you guys pay. So yeah, I'm looking at it. I am a little tired of always being like feeling the rope on my neck in terms of finances. So yeah, just looking into other things. But yeah, I'm looking into a free way to multi-stream. I found one, but it has a watermark. If I can't, I guess I have to pay for a way to multi-stream. If I do that, then I guess I'll just multi-stream everywhere. Like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I don't care. Just need to have 1,000 chats up. You open 2 different streaming programs at the same time, like OBS and another one? I can. I was actually doing that this afternoon. But I can only only one will be able to look at my capture card and camera. So that's not doable. But that was my first go-to. Yeah. Yeah, the stipulation is 4 hours, at least 4 hours, 30 days a week, a month. And you have to show your face. And you can't be like asleep. Those are the stipulations. Amarek? Never heard of it. Look at Metal. He was people leaving, now he's interested. The fuck is this? Block Japanese. The fuck is this? Amarek is software that will record your capture card and display it. You can stream that window. I used to do that back in 2013 when I had a capture card and no splitter, and I played off Amarek. It was scuffed. It looks scuffed. Saying that doesn't seem like it is that easy to just go stream on Kick and get paid. You think it's easy to do 30 hours of 30 days a week? That's more than any job. Even if it's just 4 hours. That's basically no days off. $30 days a month. I don't think it's easy at all. I'm just saying, I'm almost there, so I feel like I want to try pushing it. Anyway, let's change to Raiden. I'll be right back.